Ella. Ella. Ella, can you hear me? Which pictures did, I'm just looking at them now. What pictures did you want to discuss? Ed Sheeran, yeah. Right. Okay. Oh, you want to put all 6 in? For 7? Right.
I'm Vanessa. I love to cook and all things food, but I also love sports. So I made some phone calls and this is what we came up with. Every week, I'll be making a different athlete's favorite meal. This is Heat Off the Court.
Welcome to Heat Off the Court, the show where I show you how to cook the dishes your favorite athletes love to enjoy. I'm Vanessa Catanzaro. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching the first time that I'm in the kitchen in front of a camera. I come from a big Italian family, and ever since I was a really little girl, I've been in the kitchen learning how to cook, learning the ins and outs and tricks, and I want to share all those with you. Today I am super excited to welcome our first guest. He's a forward on the Toronto Maple Leafs, number 34, Austin Matthews. Austin, so excited. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Vanessa. So happy to be here today. I can't wait to start cooking with you.
Okay, so when I asked you what recipe you wanted to cook on this first episode, we decided together on anything Mexican, and we'll get to why a little later on. The recipe that we chose is a chicken tortilla soup, and that's what we're going to be making today. For this Mexican meal, you'll need chicken broth, homemade or store-bought is fine, shredded chicken, crushed tomatoes, onion, garlic, olive oil, chili powder, cumin, salt, pepper, onion, garlic, and a little bit of cayenne pepper depending on how spicy you want it. So when we get back, we're gonna start to cook. I'll see you on the flip side. Okay, so we're back. We're gonna start off by cutting up a big white onion with some cloves of garlic. I wanna know why Mexican food, Austin.
Well, for myself, my mom is Mexican, so had a lot of that food kind of growing up, and just makes me feel so comfortable with everything. It just played such a huge, big role in my childhood. And even when I was playing in Europe, my mom came out there with me to help me with that transition, and it was crucial to my development and having her there. And I couldn't have been happier to have her there cooking for me. And then obviously the Mexican came overseas with me when I was doing while I was doing my development there over in Switzerland.
So, how was it playing hockey when you were a kid, before Europe?
Oh, well, growing up in Arizona, it's something a little bit different than what you're used to from a typical NHL player growing up. You don't see too many people come out of there, but, with growing up watching the Coyotes and having Shane Doan there as kind of my idol, that definitely helped me. He definitely taught me a bunch when I went and did some training sessions there in Arizona. So I definitely give a lot of credit to him and all the coaches down there in Arizona that helped me get better.
And how does playing hockey in Europe differ than playing in America? Because I know a lot of kids start off playing in their home cities when they're little kids, and they dream of going to the NHL. Perhaps playing in Europe is one of the steps to take towards that.
Yeah, I definitely took a little bit of a different route to get to the NHL. With growing up and going overseas there, and it's definitely a different environment over there, having to learn a different culture and whatnot. So it was definitely a bit of a switch, but I think it was all in all, it's hockey, right? It's the same game no matter where you are in the world. So I'd say that there's not too many differences, but there's still some differences for sure.
So was your family super supportive with you going into a different country, onto a different continent to play?
Yeah, my mom obviously came with me, like I said. It took a little bit of convincing with Dad, but and then obviously my sisters are busy with other things. So I'd say that they were fairly supportive. Obviously, it ended up being a successful path to the NHL, so I don't think they were too upset in terms of how it all ended up.
So Mexican food is usually super flavorful, spicy.
Right.
In Italian culture, we cook a lot of herbs and tomatoes. What's your favorite thing about Mexican flavor?
Oh, it's got to be the heat. I love the spice. I can't get enough of it. It's just so delicious. The amount of spices and flavors that you can mix together that culminate to making an incredible dish is incredible. And I just love the heat. The more heat, the better for me. Is my kind of motto.
I have to disagree. I'm not too into heat, but again, that's just individual preference. I think the beauty of this recipe is that we can decide on how much heat we want to add later on. So when we come back, we're going to add all this to the pan and start our soup.
All right.
Okay, welcome back to Heat Off the Court. I just started adding my onions and garlic into our pot with some olive oil. Let me just do this real quick. I want to hear about the 2016 infamous Toronto draft pick, which was you. I want to know what you thought about that night, what you still remember, because it was crazy, and I was just a viewer at that time. So, like, give us an insight.
Let's put it into sport mode for this one. It was obviously a big moment in my life, switching over to the NHL. It was such an honor that night. You know, you always dream about being drafted, just to let alone in the NHL, but to go first overall was a huge accomplishment for not only myself, but my family. To get drafted by such an historic and organization like the Toronto Maple Leafs is something that I hold really near and dear to my heart. So yeah, it was incredible. It was an incredible feeling.
Okay, so let's see a little recap of 2016.
You look at the big picture, the facts are the facts. This team has not been good enough. This organization has not been good enough.
Another playoff dream is now dashed for Toronto fans.
Tough not to hear the boos and see the jerseys thrown on the ice tonight.
40 years I've been watching this garbage.
The first overall selection belongs to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Toronto proud to announce from Zurich, Austin Matthews.
Kick in with a shot, tipped by Matthews, he scores! Number 34 for number 34.
A shooting off a stanchion, and Matthews buries! There are going to be a lot of compliments thrown out by Barry Trotz and the Capitals after this is done. This franchise is headed in the right direction.
Okay, I'm sure everyone in the Leafs Nation was ecstatic to hear your name called first. I love to cook. I've been in the kitchen my whole life, being from an Italian family. I want to know what you love so much about hockey.
Oh man, there's so many different things about this sport. It's the greatest sport on earth, first of all. I won't hear any argument other than that. I think just the speed of the game too, knowing that you're competing against the best in the world is something that I have to remind myself of every now and then, just to really appreciate everything that has happened to me. I'm very grateful for all the experiences that I've had. So hockey is just incredible. Shooting the puck and scoring a goal, there's no better feeling than that.
How did you feel when you first became a Toronto Maple Leaf?
Oh, it was an incredible honor, first off. I knew, obviously, they struggled for a long time there, but I was very happy to be a part of the rebuilding process of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And, you know, we're not quite where we want to be yet, but I think we're making steps in the right direction to get better. And I'm extremely fortunate to be playing on such a team in Canada. And, yeah, being on Hockey Night in Canada every weekend, too, it doesn't hurt.
So, once our onions start to brown a little, we're going to go ahead and add a can of crushed tomatoes.
All right.
We're going to pour that slowly in here, just the entire can. Okay, we're going to add some chili powder, 2 tablespoons to be exact, a tablespoon of cumin. I'm going to add a 1/4 tablespoon of cayenne pepper, and we're going to squeeze half a lime. Okay, so I want to know we're going to take a look of what hockey fans remember most about your first game. Let's take a look from your first game.
Everybody hopefully they want to score. I think that's kind of the big, kind of get the big monkey off your back.
This is Matthews, gains control. Trying to find some room. Great work. He gets free. Shoots the goal. Austin Matthews with his second goal of the game. Moving in, puts it across in front. He scores. Matthews. You are looking at the first player ever to score 4 goals in an NHL debut.
Okay, so once we have most of our ingredients added, and it's been sitting for about 3 to 4 minutes, we're gonna give that a stir, and we are gonna add our broth. So the broth I made fresh this morning, but again, store-bought is totally fine. We're gonna slowly pour that into our big pot. Ooh. I want to know more about your time with the Leafs so far. What is it really like to be a Toronto Maple Leaf player?
So many different things come to mind. I think definitely the teammates are a huge part of it. Having such great people around me there, and having people like Freddie and Mitchie and all the bunch there. Obviously, JT's a great captain. Sheldon Keefe has come in this season and really improved this organization. And I think the sky's the limit for us. Obviously, it didn't go our way in the playoffs like I talked about earlier, but definitely a step in the right direction with Keefe behind the bench there.
I'm glad to hear that. And your teammates, you're pretty close, right?
Of course, yeah. NHL is all about team camaraderie, and when you're that close and you got to travel so many miles, they become basically your second family, with being difficult to see your real family throughout the season. Obviously, parents come to games here and there, but yeah, they become a part of your second family, and I love these guys to death. So I'm really happy with where I'm at, and I look to be in Toronto for a long, long time.
So I want to know which NHL city has the best food?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'd say, obviously New York comes to mind. You can't go wrong with a good New York slice, but yeah, exactly. And California sticks out there a little bit too, going back to my home roots a bit, but Tampa. Congrats to them, obviously, last night with the Stanley Cup victory, and I'd say Tampa, though. I think I love Cuban food, so I'd say Tampa Bay for sure.
Okay, so I'll have to visit. We're going to throw our chicken in a little later. We're going to take a look at some highlights from your career.
Moving away from home when I was young to focus on hockey was hard. Playing in Europe instead of going to college or juniors was hard. And dealing with the press after being drafted first overall, that was hard too. But being on the ice and playing hockey, well,
So Austin's clearly got an illustrious career. When we come back from break, Austin was nice enough to film a day in the life video that shows us his routine during quarantine being a player in the NHL. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's going on everyone? Austin Matthews here. I've been asked by Heat Off the Court to give you an inside look into a day of my life. We've got a busy day ahead, so let's get this day going. Looking good. So for breakfast, we've got 2 pork and apple sausages, 2 pieces of avocado toast, an orange, and some orange juice. So let's dig in. All right, so here's kind of like my home gym setup, I guess. And that was just a warm-up. Yeah, you got the yummy, 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 yum, the yummy, yummy. We're gonna go take some downtime now and go play some chow with Mitchie. Hopefully I can end up on the winning side of that matchup. He's not too great, so I like my odds. All right, so we're loaded up here. I'm the road team. He's the home team. He's gonna wear the St. Patty's jerseys. Here with Mitchie. You wanna say hi to everybody?
Before I say hi, just noticed that there's a breakout room option. Is it okay if our entire team goes there before we get this game going?
Classic Mitchie right there.
Oh, the dangles! Sweet doggy dog! Oh, man! I am good. Yeah! Rasmus Sandin! Oh, this kid's gonna be good. Mikheyev. Let's go. Let's go. Austin Matthews with a game winner. Let's go.
We'll go get some groceries now after that victory session with Mitch there on Shell. And then after that, we'll maybe get some shooting practice in. So let's get going. We've got 4 targets behind me. Got to knock them all down. And we've got the Boston Bruins logo, Jonas Korpisalo, Steve Simmons, and Mike Babcock for no particular reason at all. Yeah, let's get it going. Perfect. That's a hit on Steve Simmons. Gonna go have some recuperation now in the hot tub. Make sure all the muscles are relaxed and can enjoy the rest of my night, but that felt pretty damn good, I'm not gonna lie. Well, that's a wrap. Hopefully you guys got a little bit of a better insight into my life, and with that, AM34 out.
That was such a funny video. Thank you, Austin, for giving us the inside scoop on your NHL quarantine life.
Yeah, no
but
problem.
Now we got some fan questions, so let's get to it. Rebecca Quinn asks, how do you prepare for each game? Is there a certain meal you try to eat pregame or a routine you follow?
I definitely try to get some, regular protein in there. Chicken's always a great one. I'm not too superstitious, excuse me, as some of my other teammates. They like to definitely have some same meals before the games, but I like to switch things up.
Okay, so from Alex Wright, which teammates from the Toronto Maple Leafs are you closest to?
Oh, definitely Freddie, and obviously because I live with him, and Mitchie. We've had a bond since we've come on the team together.
Okay, it makes me so happy to hear that you guys are so close. Speaking of your teammates, we searched the wide web and some Instagram profiles, and we want to know your thoughts on some of these viral IG posts.
Yeah. Oh,
First
man.
up, we have Freddie Anderson. What are your thoughts?
Obviously, Freddie nailed this one. Looking like Ed Sheeran here, obviously. I thought he nailed the part with the redhead, obviously. I think Freddie can pull off almost any look, but this one he definitely nailed.
I see my first love, Justin Bieber. What's he doing with your friend Mitchie?
Me and Biebs have a great relationship off the ice. We like to play some in the off season for sure. And me and Mitch have obviously got that strong bond, like I said. So it was great to see Biebs celebrate my goal there in OT in Game 4 this past postseason. So we're definitely really close.
Has Barry invited you to his house on wheels?
I think I'll stay away from that one. Definitely an interesting color choice with the lime green for sure there. but it looks comfortable if it works for him and his wife, and obviously with the dog. So it works for anybody. But I'll pass on if he gives me an opportunity to join him one of these days.
So speaking of the things your teammates have been up to in quarantine, what have you been doing?
Obviously in that day in the life I showed you a little bit there. I definitely like to stay active for sure. Get some swimming in sometimes, weather permitting, but down in Arizona it's always pretty nice. Soccer, I've always gotten into golf as well, so that's really, really fun, just to unwind a little bit and relax. So I'd say golf is up there as well, something that I like to keep doing during quarantine here, staying busy.
I heard it was your birthday recently. Happy belated, and how did you celebrate?
Thank you. Went out with the family for dinner, and with my parents and my sisters. It was a great meal. I got lots of birthday wishes, so thank you to everybody who sent those in. It was obviously turning 23. It feels like I'm getting up there a little bit in age, but yeah, I had a great birthday, and looking forward to the rest of the off season here.
Up there in age, oh my goodness, you're such a young kid still. I want to know what your thoughts were on the 2020 playoffs. I know you guys...
Obviously disappointing. Yeah, it was disappointing. Obviously we wanted to go a little bit further. Columbus was a formidable opponent. Give them full credit. They deserve the win, but we'll look to come back stronger next season for sure.
So was there any words of wisdom that the coaches or even maybe like parents or uncles or aunts gave you guys after you came out of the season, and how to maybe keep your head up high going into next?
Well, obviously it was a weird season, right? We had obviously that long break there. I got COVID as well, so it was a bit of a rough stretch there. And yeah, obviously going into next season, we look to be a bit stronger. Keith gave us, he was obviously disappointed, like we all were, and deservedly so. We expected more from ourselves. We thought we had a really good shot this season with the group that we had, but it just wasn't meant to be. So we'll look forward to next season and come back even stronger, and we'll make it further than the first round for sure.
We all hope so. We're all gonna throw our chicken in now. Chicken breast, rotisserie chicken, all of that's fine. Okay, and we will see you guys when we plate our dish. Stay tuned. Here it is. This is our chicken tortilla soup.
All right.
Here it is, our chicken tortilla soup. Now, for the toppings, I'm going to add some crushed tortilla chips. Austin, what are you going to add?
Oh, I've got some shredded cheese here and some avocado. Love those. And then I'll add a little bit of, obviously, tortilla chips on top of that to finish it all off.
Beautiful. Okay, bon appetit.
All right, let's get this garnish on here. Make it look delicious.
Mmm. Oh my goodness, if this is what dinner is like in your house, I'm moving in.
My mom taught me well.
She did. I want to know, have you learned how to cook anything this delicious really quick or on the road?
You know, it's a bit difficult to cook on the road for sure. Oh man, that was delicious. Oh, that was so good. It's definitely difficult to cook on the road, like I said. But you know, when we find the time, we try to cook as much as we can. I'll give you a little bit of a quick tip here. Put some shredded cheese in the oven with your tortilla chips. It's delicious with your tacos.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Austin, and thank you so much to our viewers. Next week, we'll have another special guest. Tweet us your photos at Heat Off the Court. I'm Vanessa. Bye.
Here's Matthews in. Matthews going to the net. What scores? What a goal! Holy Mackinac! 2-0 on a brilliant effort here by Austin Matthews.
And the puck dropped off. Matthews takes it, moves in, scores!
And across the line in front of the net. Matthews dropping it back. Morgan Riley to Matthews. Closing in. Backhand try. Another shot.
Hey. To Mitch Marner. Very few players in the world can make that play. And we just watched.